Okay, now we gotta brighten up the scene here a little bit. A little more light on things. And make room for the next stage, which is putting the radio back into its cabinet. And gee, I don't know if I really want to clean these. You know, I think I can do some vacuum dusting in there, which I'll do off camera. There we go. Go. Okay. Make sure the radio's turned off. I have the battery still connected, which I'm going to leave connected now that I've got it soldered in. I'm just going to put this up here. And it still has all this stiff wire. I'm not going to take that off or do anything with it. And there's the radio. Here. Sorry about that shit up there. Move you back a bit. Oh. Hang on tight. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. That's really tight. Glass front. Oh boy, look at how wrapped up it is. What do you hear? I hope that's not broken glass. That's going to be difficult to take apart because, you know, cutting this, like, it's easy to put together. It's more hard to take apart without stressing the glass. I hope it's not taped too crazily. You know, this. It still has the original dust and dirt inside it. But it also has the original paper still in there. That's a beautiful cabinet, isn't it? there's a whole batch of screws for this too that I may have to go hunting for. But our job is to get that radio into there. So first I'm going to wield the vacuum for a little while. And then put the radio back in. Okay, let's see what's inside here. Thought I heard a cat. Taped all the way along. What is that? That's a whole front plastic piece with a cloth on it, I think. Yikes. Boy, this is not a good way to pack this at all. Oh my god, the screws are right there. Yikes. Wow, okay. So the furniture guy did what he knows. He didn't do as many other favors. Well, no good here. Seems okay though. Yeah, not bad. It's not bad at all. You know, 4 knobs. 2 screws like this, 2 washers, 3 little screws. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, 3 screws. I bet you there is another one. Keep your eyes open. I bet you there's one more little screw like that. I'm sure I've got some if I dig around. Okay. Oh yeah, now what's going on with this? What's this idea here? Yeah, just unpacking this. Could be just a spacer put there. Masking tape down the front. Ay, ay, ay. Red alert, red alert. No, okay, good. Good, good, good. Oh. Okay, need a discussion with the refinisher on how to do these things. Oh! Well, the screw showed up. And, uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's that look like? That looks like a clip. I just wonder if the rest of them are still inside here. Let's look and see. Easy to see where how that fits, and there are some clips left inside here. Oh, sorry. Hey, we're up here now. So I was just sizing this up. This will be easy. Those 4 screws go in the 4 holes, and bingo, it's there. Nothing to that. And then here's the clips for clipping in the glass. And all we need to make that work right is some rubber material. There's various ways we can solve that. So that'll go nicely. I think this rail was to keep the batteries from falling out. Oh, you can't see that. This rail. Keep the big batteries from falling out of the back of it. It's wonderful that this has all been maintained. Yeah. So why wouldn't we put this in? See what color it's supposed to be. You know how that comes out in the camera, but to my eye it's quite clear. This is nice, a goldy yellow, and this is a pale beigey white. The color's gone from it. It's never coming back. I have to replace that. But if you were to replace something like that, the radio is becoming less and less original. Let's just put this piece of glass where it can't get hurt. Where do you put a piece of glass so it cannot get hurt? That's the question. Somewhere way out of the way. That's good, I have a place. Way out of the way. timber. There we go. Okay, I think my camera might fall in a moment, but let's carry on here. I gotta get something done. Let's Okay, so we're going to work on this glass. Now, first thing to realize is which side is the print on. And the print is almost always on the back side of the glass, away from where a person can touch it normally. And that's allowed some of the manufacturers to put some pretty weak stuff on the back. The idea being that it's not going to ever get touched. So you have to be extremely careful about what's on the back of this. And that includes the part around here, which you can see is already flaking quite badly. So there's really no damage on this at this point. Nothing significant anyway. So that's a good sign that in fact this one is fairly adherent. There's a little piece of the zero there. That could have been gone right from the time they made it though. So it feels pretty good. But we're going to clean this side first. I like to use something which I guess I really am not going to name it. And okay, so that cleans the front side. We don't dare do the same on the back. Okay, so that takes care of the front. Now the back. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to test a little bit of this line here. I'm going to test it down here. Just see, I'm just dipping some water on my I'm just gonna brush the very tip of it here. Keep going over it for a while. See if it lifts off. If a little bit of the line lifts off, it won't be missed because it's the very end of a line. And I'd say no, it doesn't seem to coming off at all.
Okay, so that gives me the willingness to kind of go over the whole thing. Now I don't want to have a big surprise, so we're gonna do a little bit down here. So I'm a little worried about this back masking tape or masking paint here coming off also. Looks good. So now I'm going to apply a fair bit of water to it. Might be a little bit of soap in this water, but just kind of left over. Okay, and I want enough water that the surface is kind of lubricated, so I'm not dragging too much paper over it, having it too dry. I'm watching real careful. First sign anything's going wrong, I panic. Okay, now in between I can rub a little harder. Another thing is time. Given time, the water may loosen up this. So although it passed my initial test, okay, that's about as much as I would dare do here, I think. Take a dry piece. How's that look? Well, it looks much, much better. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So that's ready to go back in now. Probably never be cleaned again like that. Okay. Now, to bumper the edges, I have some foam here. It's a little on the thick side, so we'll cut it back a bit. Just need about an inch to two 1-inch pieces of this here stuff. Okay, make sure we put it in right side up. Now I haven't put any material on the front, so I'm going to let the glass go right up against the wood here. I don't think that's a problem. Okay. I'm going to back out these screws. Give me the most play in the bracket here. these brackets don't come over very far. If I center this in the bracket, it's not centered in the radio. Center it between the two brackets. This bracket's been installed a little further this way. Isn't that curious? That bracket misses. I can see where to line the glass up because it matches exactly this piece of wood down here. So that would be the exact spot there, and these clamps are barely onto it. Isn't that odd? Well, let's put them down and see what. It's gripping in there fairly good. You know, that's going to hold it. It's not going to go anywhere. So there we are. Glass in. Okay. Somehow through all that we missed a spider web up here. Survived through all the work that's been done on this cabinet and me vacuuming in there too. Clever spider. Okay, let's take a look at the front of this radio now and see what we got. Pretty nice. The glass is not doing it justice, I'm afraid. I wonder what that is I missed. Somehow I missed a little bit of stuff on it. That's kind of funny. How did that happen? Gee, I don't know how I missed that. Anyway, here we go. That's fine. Now, make sure those fingerprints are on the front. They're on the back. It's covered in fingerprints on the back. How did I manage that? using the greatest talents ever now. How am I going to get those off? Yeah, that's not what I wanted to have happen. Look at that, I got fingerprints all over it. Oh, they come off easy. I thought I was being so careful with it. You can't be too careful. I mean, once the radio goes in, you can't get at this anymore. So, jeepers, fingerprints everywhere on it. I must have lost my concentration for a moment and handled it. And no doubt it's all on video. My gosh. There's something wrong with my fingers. Maybe it's that bacon grease from breakfast this morning. Well, at least the print is very rugged on this, so that's great.
I'm getting fingerprints all over the radio. That's what's happening too. Holy smokes. Bad news here. I wonder what is on my fingers. Oh, how that happened. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, I think we're ready to put the radio in now. Set it this way. Take our radio. The battery. Trying to find good things to hold on to while I do this. There we go. There, it's inside. There we go. Knobs are sticking out the front. See the space in the back for the batteries here. You know what I might recommend for this? Rather than build a... We're thinking of building a power supply so it can be plugged in the wall. I think 10 9-volt batteries might be a better way to go. I don't know, can you put 10 9-volt batteries in series and still get some power out of it? Yeah. These knobs look a little high, don't they? And where are all the hardware screws for mounting it back in? Good question. Let me go look for it. Okay, looks like I don't have any mounting screws. And one thing I didn't do with this radio, which we better do now, I take it back out, is the lights. Wait a minute. Are there lights on here? Yeah. No, there's no light on. There's no lights on this radio, is there? How soon I do forget. They wouldn't put lights on a battery-operated radio. Somehow in my head I've got this impression that there is a light. Oh, I know what it was. It's that Stromberg Carlson radio that had the lights. Yeah. This one has no lights. Because it's battery operated. Well, I can't find the screws, so I don't think I got any screws with it, so I'll have to dig up some appropriate screws to bolt it into the cabinet. For now, I'm just going to kind of jam the wire in the back there like that. Let's turn it around. Yeah. There we go. So it has a mechanical indicator, which you can't see from there.
I don't want to be doing that too much because every time I turn it on and off I'm heating up and cooling down the filaments, because the battery's in there on a permanent basis. Now all these knobs look identical. Yes, they do, and they're all in good shape. Let's put them on, even though the radio's not bolted in properly. Put these on just kind of lightly, because I want to see what it looks like. Oh, that's where that little piece of metal came out. It's the clamp from in here. I should have recognized it. Now, here it is here. Lucky me. That's the spring that comes from inside the knob. There we go. Lucky that didn't get lost. There, perfect. There it is. Look at that. Yeah, that's beautiful. You know, it looks fantastic, except this masking here is really kind of poor on it. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty, isn't it? Lovely when it's all refinished like that. Except for my fingerprints all over it. And the cool thing is it works. And it does shortwave. Shortwave from 6 megacycles to 10 megacycles, doesn't go up higher than 10. It's a little unusual. Okay, I mean, that's it. There it is. Back together, working. Very good. I really like it. It's really nice looking. It's very classic. It has very classic lines to it, I think. And it's very nicely done. Nice how this is on a nice angle. So it's sitting on your table like it is now. I'm standing up. I'm looking straight into it. I don't have to come down to look at it. That's very nice. And I like this front. It's really a nice looking radio. Beautiful wood. Look at the top of it. With that piece right in the middle, dead center. Lovely. Lovely stuff. Okay. That's it for this guy. He's finished. Thanks for watching all the videos on him.